is Kartika Atmaja from S.Pd. Okay, today I will explain about the types of research design. There are three types of research design. The first is pre-experimental design, the second is true experimental design, and the last is quasi-experimental design. Number one is pre-experimental design. Pre-experimental design are so named because they follow basic experimental steps but fail to include a control group. There are the one-shot case study, one group pre-test post-test study, and statistic group comparison study. The one-shot case study, the subjects are presented with some type of treatments. The goal is to determine if the treatment had any effect on the outcome. The next is one group pretest post-test study. A benefit of this design over the previously discussed design is the inclusion of a pretest to determine baseline scores. We can, however, at least state whether a change in the outcome or independent variable has taken place. And the last is statistic group comparison study. The design attempts to make up for the lack of a control group, but falls short in relation to showing if a change has occurred. In the statistic group comparison study, two groups are chosen, one of which receives the treatment and the other does not. Number two is true experimental designs. A true experiment is a type of experimental design and is thought to be the most accurate type of experimental research. This is because a true experiment supports or reviews a hypothesis using statistical analysis. There are three criteria that must be met in a true experiment. Number one, control group and experimental group, research manipulated variable, and random assignment. The types of true experimental study has three types. Post-test only design, pre-test post-test design, and so on for group design. The first post-test only design, the type of design has two randomly assigned groups that are an experimental group and a control group. Neither group is pre-test before implementation of the post-test is carried out on both groups to assess the effect of the treatment. And next, pre-test post-test design. The subjects are again randomly assigned to either the experimental or the control group. Both groups are pre-tested for the independent variable. The experimental group receives the treatment and both groups are post-test to examine the effects of manipulating the independent variable on the dependent variable. The last is Solomon for group design. Subjects are randomly assigned into one of four groups. There are two experimental groups and two control groups, only two group pre-tests. One pre-test group and one unprotest group receive the treatment. All four groups will receive the post-test. And the last is quasi-experimental designs. And the last is quasi-experimental designs. The prefix quasi means resembling. This quasi-experimental research is research that resembles experimental research, but not true experimental research. Although the independent variable is manipulated, participants are not randomly assigned to conditions or orders of conditions. There are many different kinds of quasi-experiment. The number one is non-equivalent group design. Recall that when participants in a between subjects experiment are randomly assigned to conditions, the resulting groups are likely to be quite similar. Non-equivalent group design. Then is a between subjects design in which participants have not been randomly assigned to conditions. Number 2 is pre-test post-test design. Independent variable is measured once before the treatment is implemented. It is unlike within subjects experiment, however, in that the order of condition is not center balanced because it typically is not possible for a participant to be tested in the treatment condition first and then an untreated control condition. Okay, that's all. Thank you for watching.